is more pissed off after this race weekend. Sebastian Vettel, now that he's retired and his team's doing really well, or Esteban Ocon because of the amount of fucking penalties that he took during the race.
The penalty for improperly taking a penalty for improperly taking a penalty for improperly taking a penalty.
Yeah,
we're having a 35-second total penalty.
It was ridiculous.
The only person that spent more time in the pits was Lando Norris.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No God. Shit. Oh, they had to keep filling like his air compressor or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. I bet Danny Ricciardo was just sitting at home, just like, just doing that laugh he does when he's super excited. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna go with Ocon was more upset.
God damn it! This is.
I think Vettel will get through it, but Ocon, that's a hard loss, man.
It's like, no, every time it's like he gets a penalty. Oh, okay, he gets another penalty, huh? And then another penalty. Like, get the fuck out of here! And it was like.
I like during the chats when it was like you'd say one thing and then all of a sudden, like right as like that chat like text came through, he's already getting fucking flagged for like speeding in the pit zone. So we had to hurry up and throw that in there too.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know he was so it was like he got one penalty for going point. They started working on his. He had a 5-second penalty. They started working on his car at the 4.6 second mark. So it was so tiny, right? So then he leaves pit lane and he was going 1 kilometer an hour over his
that kind of makes me think of this thing I saw on YouTube. It was some guy that was going after a rare achievement on fucking NASCAR 03. You know, it's like a game that came out 20 years ago now. And he kept getting speeding in the pit penalties because he would enter pit lane and someone would enter behind him and push him, and he ended up going over the speed limit. And I was like, that's a fun strategy. Can you imagine like how much of a dick you'd be if you just like hit the gas and fucking spin someone in the pit lane?
Oh, that's awesome.
And of course, like I thought of something really funny to start the podcast out with now that we're like already into it. So I'll save that for another time, I guess. But speaking of the podcast start, welcome to the Tire Preference Podcast.
Woo! Tire Preference Podcast. Woo!
With a race review for the first time in a long time because we just had the season opener.
Woo! Season opener just happened. Yay, we're back. And then it's not even a race week this week. So
which I can't do a prediction, but whatever. So anyway, let's get off with
such a bleeding high.
Let's stick to the schedule here, gents, and just introduce ourselves like we always do, because that's how we do things around here at the Tire Preference Podcast. So I am Jake. I'm sitting here with my brother Tyler.
Hi.
And one of my good buddies, Dave.
Hey, how are you, everybody?
Hi. Oh,
okay. Well, and the three of us are the Tire Preference Podcast. We're here to talk about some F1 shit. So hope you're ready to buckle up and ride along, because for the first time in a long time, we have
and get ready.
Lights out and away we go.
And the first race of the season is always like, it's usually really exciting, ooh, like who's gonna do what? And it was a little boring.
Yeah, Annie and I it was lights out and away we go, and then first corner, all right, here we go. Nothing. Yeah, nobody touched. Everybody just cleanly went through, and then that was the race.
There's a lot of people out there saying that the race is boring, and I think that they're just nuts.
Well, it wasn't boring, but it wasn't super eventful. There wasn't a ton going on throughout.
I would say that there was a fuck ton of shit going on in the middle of the pack, but there was nothing going on in the top six. The top six cars that we expect to see do well, that being the 2 Red Bulls, the 2 Ferraris, and the 2 Mercedes. Boring race, but
kind of not really. That was actually okay. So maybe it was.
There was a couple good points.
It was a little more exciting. 6. Yeah.
Right. There was a lot going on.
All right. Well, we'll cover them.
All right. Let's talk about it.
Let's break them down.
We go and talk about it.
Ocon, as we discussed, doesn't know where to put his fucking car when he starts. He doesn't know how fucking fast he needs to go down the pit lane. He doesn't know how fucking long his crew needs to sit there. And I think, Yeah, that's about it.
Did you
you know-
see the view though from the front of the pack on where he lined up on the grid compared to everyone else?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, he was
It's like a-
clearly way
it's
over.
a tire width.
You know who else doesn't know where to put their car after they start a race? Sergio Perez, almost pushing Carlos Sainz into the fucking
Oh
wall.
fuck yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, and then how about Lance Stroll almost taking out Fernando
Alonso?
Alonso in like the first corner?
I just love how he kept throughout the entire race kept saying like, "Who hit me?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we don't know."
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like anything on that incident. I'm back on that.
Nope, there's nothing.
Nope,
Yep, nope, nothing. Nope, we got it.
And did you see the well, we'll get to the I guess the cool down room, but when he actually saw the incident,
Mhm.
Yeah, he
Yeah, there
didn't
was like
react to it
no
at all.
reaction.
yeah, nothing.
well,
He
and
just
They said
That's
that, like
'cause
they probably told him on his in lap, you know, like, oh, it was Lance Stroll that hit you. It was your
Yeah,
boss's son. So
It was-
he's just like,
yeah.
"Ugh."
Lawrence gets over the radio. He's just like, Fernando, you almost ran into my son.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Do you remember that Lando?
Yeah. Lawrence Stroll, whatever. You fucking know what I was talking about. Other people that I think are excited, they're like Danny Ricciardo, because McLaren came out
and
doing fucking
tanked it.
terrible.
Frank.
They had one DNF, and then Lando got 19th place.
Yeah, I mean
Or-
they should have DNF'd him because they just kept pulling him in every like what 15 laps to change tires and refill his air
Yeah.
thing. I was like, come
Maybe-
on, man. He was on like 6 pit stops, I think, by the end of the race.
Maybe it wasn't 19th because like the attrition rate I think was a little high for the first race. Because I had made a joke about like, hey, both Haas cars finished top 16.
Right. Well, did you see who had the most positions gained throughout the entire race?
Pierre Gasly
Pierre Gasly.
Yeah.
went from
He went
20th
from
to what?
20th 2 points.
Yeah,
He got 10th
dude.
place.
Yeah, that's right. You did.
he was
No, he
fighting
got-
the
he got-
entire time.
He got 11th. Albon got 10th. Or no, he got 9th because Albon got 10th.
Yeah. Yeah, he got 9th.
Logan
Made
Sargent
up 11
didn't do,
spots.
didn't do bad. He was
No,
maybe
he did exactly what I hoped.
Hold on 1 second. Let's shift our lens. Let's change our glasses from objective to he's a rookie who's in a Williams and got fucking 12th place. That dude might
That's
as well
good.
have won the goddamn
Yeah.
Grand Prix.
That's a
for-
W for Williams.
The
Like-
Williams podium is 10, 11, and 12. So Logan Sargent got second place.
yeah.
He did have a good race, and that's like all I was hoping for. It'd be clean race. He finish, no controversy, nothing. He just
Right.
finished the fucking race, and after that, all right, American driver, let's see what you got.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, I was glad to see him like doing well, and you know, DeVries got 14th at the end of it, and like you said, Piastri got a DNF, the big DNF, 3
Yeah.
official DNFs
Yeah,
this race.
yeah.
Because
Yeah, there
Ocon
was-
was the third.
And who was the other one?
I don't remember. I just
I-
don't see
yeah.
it. It's just-
I don't.
Hey,
it was a
let's
red
talk
car.
about Lance Stroll running off the track before the race started.
Oh yeah, that was great. I thought he was. How great would that be if like you spun out during that? And this might be the case if you spin out during like the warm up lap. Like, do you just start dead last after that? Like, just
I know.
everyone just shift in front of you?
I was
just
like,
like
oh
the-
man, he
The
went
fact
off
that he
on the
has to like
warm-up lap?
overtake people like on the formation lap.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, but I will say this, having 12 days, having surgery 12 days prior to that, and then
That's
still racing,
pretty
Very
finishing in the
impressive.
points,
Yeah,
very impressive.
that
As
that's
much as
a tough man moment.
Although they did
Yeah.
say many times throughout the broadcast, I don't know if you guys heard it or not, whether they doped him up enough on whatever, to where he just didn't feel that.
You know what,
syrup
Dave?
pain.
Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, it's maple
It
syrup.
doesn't. Yeah, Maple's just he pours it in the wounds. If whether or not if you have like pins in
Yeah,
your
that shit-
hand
You feel that
from a
shit.
broken wrist and you're driving an F1 car and you finish the race, that's impressive.
Yeah.
If you are doped up enough to get you to 6th place and finish the race without killing anybody, that's even more
Well,
impressive.
that doped up, just like numbed up. I don't know.
Well, they should numb his ass up because every other race he wasn't numbed up, he tries to crash into somebody. In this race, he only did it almost accidentally one time.
To his teammate.
Yeah, to his teammate, which is he's done this before. Yeah.
I will say I love the shit on Stroll, but that is impressive to that quickly of a recovery and then to do that well in a race.
Right.
Kudos.
It's
Good
almost
job,
like
Lance.
he didn't actually break his wrist in a bicycle accident. It was more like he just got hit with a ruler by his father enough times.
Yeah, his dad probably beat him. Now, with that being said, because we shit on him all the time, we said something positive about him. I saw him a picture. I'm fairly certain his lower jaw sticks out further than his upper jaw. Like I saw a picture of it, and he kind of has this.
You're probably not wrong, but I just cannot not stare at the wet upper lip.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know if it's like if he's
Ever
licking
since
his
you
upper
first
lip
mentioned
or if
it,
it's like
I can't. Yeah, I
it's
can't
his
not see
nose
it.
that drains into it. Like whenever he gets excited, he just gets like a runny nose because he's a fucking weird kid that smells chairs, like the seats
Yeah, I
on
bet.
chairs.
And,
Like,
and he probably
so
doesn't
cool.
shower off that often. He's just that kid that you went to high school with that smells like fucking cheese all the time.
It's like the people that spot trains and they're like, "Oh, this is the A class, whatever the fuck." He does that, but it's doorknobs.
Yeah,
Like, that's a quick set 850.
He's the kid that would like run from classroom to classroom, and not because he was late, just because he didn't want to be late.
Fucking dead sprint in a skate shoe, so it's flat landing. You know that noise, the super loud flat landing of a flat shoe.
No, it's not fucking skate shoes. He's wearing like those brown like Merrells that don't have laces on them and shit.
He's wearing short sleeves, shorts, and a fedora.
That's a little extreme.
Nice.
You know the type. So yeah, that's our shit on Stroll moment. We're probably gonna have more of those. So yeah. Anyway, the other like really crazy thing about this race was the one thing that I got really excited about was Fernando Alonso passing Hamilton on turn 10 on the fucking outside.
Outside, yeah.
That is not a passing spot, but that's a passing spot if you are a crafty veteran.
Well, he did that earlier in the race as well.
Plan.
He did that early in the race as somebody else. I mean, it was a slower car and, not going to be a huge challenge, but he also did the outside on 10 to somebody else.
I don't think I noticed that one. I definitely saw the one he did on Ham, and I saw him try it again on someone else, but he just didn't have the pace for it. I think it might have been Sainz.
Yeah, because he ended up getting Sainz
right
a few laps later or something.
Or that Austin Martin's quick. The Red Bull Austin Martin is quick.
Yeah.
So
the green Red Bull.
That's there was 3 Red Bulls on the podium.
The Austin Bull, the Red Martin.
So weird that the two teams that went over the cost cap doing so well.
Interesting how that happens.
I heard how
turns out when you break the rules,
they figured out a way sort of around it. Like,
well,
I don't know.
Let's say that for the news section. We're still ragging on the race right now.
Okay.
All right. Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it. We'll rag on the race. A lot of people thought this race was boring, but like I said earlier, I think the really exciting thing was all the infield battles. I mean, we saw lots of good passing, lots of good racecraft from everyone. Fucking Zhao and you looked really strong on the season start. It's his second, was a sophomore season, so
yeah, Yuki looked pretty good.
Hulkenberg, I gotta say, just did a Hulkenberg.
He hulked it.
He exciting, fun, and then we're a lap down in 15th place. So
yeah, what happened towards the end there? It's like he was doing so well, and then was it a bad pit or something? Because all of a sudden it was like, where'd Hulk go? He was up there, and all of a sudden he's down at the bottom with Magnussen.
I hate to say it, but I feel like as much as I want to see him get on the podium, I feel like Hulkenberg is giving his all and giving everyone a 49, and you need a 50 to get on the podium. It's all he can do. It's all he can muster.
No, it's the first race this season. He hasn't been in a car for
Well, I
since
mean,
the first race of last season. Like,
the dude
sure,
has
but
the
he had a
talent, but
career's worth of fucking practice to get on the podium and never fucking got the dub.
no, he got
So-
on the podium one time, I think.
No,
he's
never been on a
never had,
podium.
I don't think he's never
No
had a
shit.
podium.
Never had a
Never.
podium.
No, okay, I'm thinking of Romain Grosjean. He had one
Yeah.
podium.
And who crashed in IndyCar
crashed.
this weekend?
Yeah,
Was it Romain Grosjean?
They were him
Yeah.
and some
When
other
I
were
went-
battling. For
Oh, it
first
wasn't
place.
his fault though. It wasn't his
It
fault.
was the other guy's fault, but to crash each other out.
Oh my god! When I went and saw IndyCar when it came to Portland, I think it was like first or second year that Romain Grosjean was doing it, and he fucking crashed in that race also. I was like, they said which car crashed. I was like, oh shit, which one? And I was like, oh, is it the purple one? Oh, god damn it! Of course it was the fucking purple one. 'Cause his car was purple.
I think now he's with DHL, so the yellow
Yeah.
and red.
Yeah, it's funny that he's
Where-
at DHL because he can't deliver.
Be
He should be the fucking DiGiorno team.
It's not delivery, it's Romain Grosjean. So we had three DNFs this race. The first one being
Who was the
Piastri.
first? Was
the
he
tire
first one?
preference.
It was
podcast.
that was
Driver
the
of
tire
the day.
preference podcast driver of the day, which everyone voted on because all three of us watched it live. I have the screenshot to prove it. Tyler.
I did watch it live. I was
Yeah.
just thinking. I know. No, it's yeah. It's really.
It was
hard to
lap.
know that one.
I had it as lap 15, but
Yeah,
officially
he went out fairly early.
it was lap 13 on the official tracker, which is a little. I don't know what they base all their shit on, but all of my official like this happened this lap is different than the F1 website. So I don't know.
1.5 of his laps didn't count.
Yeah, I
because
guess.
he was limping, I guess, through the
No.
last.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so he was out. I don't remember what they electrical issue was an electrical issue.
Yeah, because they interviewed Zach Brown right after the retirement.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
because
right.
they were having a whole bunch of problems with Lando Norris,
Yeah,
who
Yeah.
might as well should have fucking retired.
yeah, they
because
should have DNF'd him
finished
too.
2
Save the
laps
Yeah, what
car.
the
He
fuck?
pit
Like
6 times, I think, that race.
at that
Yeah,
point, just like
he was on his
take
fifth,
the
and there
L and
was still
save the
like
engines.
20 laps to go.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You just need to pit. You just need to DNF and save the engine at that point.
Yeah.
You're 100%
Yeah.
right, Tyler.
If
You're not gonna get points. Fucking DNF. Get out.
Yeah.
Don't
The
risk
safety
the car
cars-
and the driver.
I mean, it's not like they were maybe hoping for a safety car. If they come in, ended up a lap down to do a repair, like, okay, maybe you got a shot later, but it's every 6 laps they have to bring him in and pit. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Well, he was the. They were the only team. He was the only driver to go through all sets of his tires.
Oh, whether he needed him or not.
Right.
Yeah.
So other mentions on the DNF list is going to be Ocon, who went out in 41. He should have gone out a lot sooner because my fuck, he had 35 seconds worth of penalties. And though so
And
just
he was drifting at the back of the pack, so it wasn't like it was, there was not a lot of hope for him.
just to put that in
Yeah.
perspective, that's 35 seconds of stationary pit time. That does not count going into the pits or coming out of the pits.
Yeah.
35 seconds this guy had to fucking sit there.
Yeah, that's almost a minute in the pits.
Yeah. And the
All
pits are
said
like
and done.
Yes,
the pit
100%.
window there is about 25 seconds. So it's
Right.
like
Yeah.
for a 5-second penalty, he's basically losing 30 seconds off of his
Mhm.
time.
Yes.
So yeah, they pitted him. Did he have an issue, or they just pit him because he was just so far behind?
Ocon?
Yeah,
I think they were. I think they were serving the. So the first two, the first one I don't think he switched his tires. I think it was pretty early still, because it was for the faulty. He was misplaced on the start, so he came in and he got a new nose, and they did the
Jumped
penalty.
They jumped it too
They
soon.
jumped it by like 4/100ths of a second or something like that.
Yeah, it's
And
Yeah.
which is enough, right? And so he goes out and he's doing his thing, and he has to come back in. And so if you get a penalty and you come back into the pits, you have to serve the penalty. Now, if you've already switched your tires and you don't have to pit and you get a penalty, you can just keep racing the race, and then it's going to get added to your final lap time or final race time, which could put you, if it's a 5-second penalty and the guy was 4 seconds behind you, it could lose you a spot, or it could lose you many spots if it was pretty close. But they brought him in, and they just kept bringing him in for other shit because to serve these fucking penalties. And they finally, I don't know why they DNF'd him. I don't have that in my notes.
It's probably just because, like, you know what? Fuck it.
It was on lap 41, so we're talking like the last 15 laps. I was probably just concentrating on the fight at the beginning of the pack, and I think that was right before then was this other DNF that happened that we really could just gloss over. Really
No,
quick.
I don't think we should gloss over that one.
We don't need to talk about it.
We owe it to our viewers to talk about everyone that DNF'd. So,
as much as I hate to admit it, I have to agree with Tyler.
So basically, what happened was there was a very, very, very minor issue with the Ferrari, which is a perfect
very
car.
minor enough to cause
very
a
minor
DNF.
issue.
Leclerc expertly piloted the car to an offshoot area, not requiring a safety car, but only a virtual safety car, which didn't fuck the race for, Verstappen, who was like a minute and a half ahead of everyone. But
he would have just taken off again. He would have built that lead out.
Yeah.
But did they ever just tell us what happened? Because it sounded like his engine shut off.
They said it was
power unit failure.
Last I heard, it was a power unit failure.
Yeah, power unit failure.
So he's already got to get a new power unit. That's one after the first race.
Hey, real quick, just so we can refresh my memory, who had a DNF the first race last year and ended up winning the championship?
Both Red Bulls.
It's not going to happen.
It will happen. It's going to happen.
I just don't. If I was a betting man, I would not put my money on Ferrari this season.
Well, what is it? The winner of Bahrain for like the last, who knows, comes in second in the drivers' championship.
Well, not last year.
But it's not like a.
Well, I guess Leclerc did come in second last year.
He did come in second.
Yeah,
so
I still remember the moment where
Hamilton won a lot.
Officially came in second place, and it was in Japan when they were interviewing Max, and you hear Leclerc go like off the side. Very clearly you can hear him yell fuck.
Yeah, Japan was a bit of an icky race last year. But
I don't know. Yes, that is statistically you would see that, but like that doesn't mean shit to me. Like just because it happened in the past.
Well, didn't they have a situation before where a young driver won 2 championships after a 7-time winning champion, and then another driver after their 2 then dethroned them? Didn't that happen?
Well, yeah. Then so who's that going to be? Is that
but what happened
saying
before
Leclerc's going to take over and be the?
So that's the conspiracy Hamilton theory is no. So basically it was Fernando Alonso came on the scene,
2-time winner,
and won 2 times, dethroning Schumacher. And then a young British driver won the champion. That was Lewis Hamilton won the championship.
And so young British, you're either talking what Lando,
well, not young British. It was young driver who had 6 years experience in F1, which I think is Leclerc at this point.
We're stretching it out there,
so you can tell how much I've committed this memory because I can't fucking remember it.
A lot.
It's just a silly this has happened in the past.
It's one of those like
if you dig hard enough, you'll find all kinds of shit that happened in the past.
2022 plus 2024 equals this, and then that means 9/11 was a hoax.
Right, right.
It's like, come on.
This means that history is repeating itself, and in Formula One, it's Charles Leclerc is going to be king. And it's like, really, Ferrari's gotten their shit figured out after being on a losing streak for the last 20 fucking years.
16.
We'll round up.
So remember how I said that like 7's kind of a weird number in sports? And I think it's like individual sports, like it's hard to get past 7.
Michael Phelps won 8 gold medals.
Yeah, but we're talking like championships.
Tell me what a Olympic gold medal is then, if it's not like a championship, because
Olympic gold medal is like winning a race. It's just like Verstappen's got more gold medals. He won more races on a world scale. So you want to go ahead and tell me how Michael Phelps did better?
All right. I'm curious now as to what you're coming to, so go on.
So I found out that in NASCAR, the most wins, most championships in an entire career is set at 7. And it's by 3 different drivers, which is Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and JB Johnson, have only ever got 7 world champions in their career.
Well, you got to think of that. I mean, that's 7 years. What's the longevity of a racing driver's career if they're really good?
Fucking NASCAR, fucking forever.
Well,
yeah, Jimmy Johnson's been driving a long fucking time.
To get that many ships in a career, like you're gonna have down years, you're gonna have some good years. There's like very few that just come in on top, win them all, and go the fuck off. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, and it's like there's only 2 people in the history of Formula One that have hit 7 world champions, and it's Lewis Hamilton and Schumacher.
I mean, right. Yeah, you got to be dominant for most of your career to even come close to accomplishing that, and that's superhuman.
Yeah, right. Well, and in football, Tom Brady could only beat the Cowboys 7 times in a row. Couldn't beat him 8 times in a row.
It's because so can we circle this back to how you think Ferrari is going to win the world championship from this?
Oh, because they're Ferrari, they're going to win.
Okay.
Although I will tell you that if there was like even just the slightest bit of sand in my asshole, when they did their first pit, it would have turned to a goddamn diamond because they double stacked, which is it's a big jump. Like we were covering pit basics last season with Ferrari, and now they're double stacking on the inaugural race
and
holy fucking
pulled
shit.
It off flawlessly. They nailed it.
They did. But that's one of those times where you're like half hammered and you slip down the stairs and you fucking catch yourself like a goddamn ninja, and it works out perfect. That's how this pit went. Like I was freaking out when they pit. Yeah.
I saw signs. I was like, oh Jesus. Oh Jesus.
Yeah. And I will admit, whenever I saw one of the Red Bulls go into the pits, I was chanting to myself, fuck it up, 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 fuck it up.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. If they fucked up Max's pit stop, shit, he was 30 seconds ahead of the
they could have fucked it up and like royally and still he would have been all right.
Yeah, he would have cruised. They didn't show him much during the race.
No, not at all, really.
No,
you'd see a glimpse of him just
Vettel was at Red Bull
sweetly going through, and then off to the what's going on. Let's hit the action.
Yeah,
let's go to the exciting parts.
Which, like, I mean, I remember like when in Hamilton's dominant years, that was the same thing. They'd show the start of the race, and then that was it. And then at the end of it, they're like, and Hamilton's winning. Like, oh fuck, he's still in the race. I completely forgot.
Right.
I guess it's kind of like a downer. Like you're so dominant and you're good. It's like, yeah, I'm like the face of F1, but you literally get no TV time during the races,
right?
Because you're just so far ahead.
Yeah.
One good thing about having Verstappen in F1 too is that like it kind of makes it more relatable for the average Joe, because you don't have like these people that are just like, supermodels that are just like Adonises, like on the fucking track.
Max is
you
ugly.
have the wall-eyed, thick-bodied Max Verstappen, who's built like a door.
Like Uma Thurman's kid.
He's just like the only reason he's good is because he's got 120% vision, like field of view instead of like whatever the average human is. Like his eyes
are set side on the
his head. His visor's a half-inch wider on either side because he can just
helps him see
everything
prey attacking.
Yeah. You have guys like Lance Stroll who looks like his dad froze his sperm for a couple years and then
but the thing about Lance Stroll is like I can see Lance Stroll.
He froze his sperm in the 70s. If he wasn't in the 2000s,
if he wasn't a race car driver, he could be like he could like model suits or socks or something. If Max Verstappen wasn't a race car driver, he'd be unclogging septic tanks.
He'd be a plumber. We have less than a minute on this one.
He'd be trimming tulips.
He'd be trimming tulips. He would be in a state hospital because
he'd be like an electrician or something.
Yeah. He'd have he'd be like a victim of electric. Okay, fine. Fucking just you said that in the middle of two of my jokes in a row.
I'm sorry. It was like it didn't register that there's less than a minute. I feel like we're gonna get to
everyone can see that there's less than a minute. Whatever. Got it. We'll come back. Fuck. You're just upset that I was making fun of Max Verstappen.
No, they're good jokes. I just didn't want to get cut off.
You didn't even hear them because you interrupted. All right, that was pretty much the race. In a nutshell, we can top three podium finish because of a Ferrari fuck up is
Red Bull 1, 2, 3.
Red Bulls.
Yeah, Red Bull 1, 2, 3. That's a bit of a joke. It was Verstappen by let's see.
I like
he was almost 12 seconds ahead of Perez. Came in second, who was ahead of third place by 38 seconds.
Jesus.
And that was Fernando Alonso. Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking ridiculous. So Verstappen, Perez, Alonso. Alonso, he does not. So there is a record between podiums, longest time between two podiums, and that record's held by Schumacher. And Alonso is not going to beat it now because it was like another 2 years or some shit like that. So Alonso would have to race for like another 10 to 13 years to beat the fucking.
Although it was a long time since his last podium, wasn't it? Like 2012.
2012 in the Spanish Grand Prix. I want to say I could be completely wrong about that, but it was. I think it was 2012. That was it was like 11 years ago.
He also had the way he celebrated coming across the line was the same way he came across the line when he podiumed him in Bahrain the last time.
Yeah.
So
the super wide fucking.
A lot of people do the super wide things. So I don't really pay too much.
Yeah, but he had somebody behind him. Although with
I was worried that they were
going to
pass. It was like that time that the thing I sent you guys where Christian Horner's team like celebrated the pit. That fucking poor bastard, because everyone wants to win Monaco, and this fucking poor bastard, I can't even remember his name, was winning comfortably, and he slowed down to celebrate with the team, and the guy in second place zoomed past him and fucking got the dub. That would have been an awkward podium.
That would have just been like
that's when you just go full tilt boogie up the hill and then don't turn and sail into the ocean. So, but
it just becomes like that song as you're sailing away.
I can go ahead and real quick break down your top 10 from this last race, and then we're going to move on to the news.
Sure, and some rumors.
And some rumors.
Rumor corner. But first, your top 10 from the Formula One Gulf Air Bahrain Grand Prix 2023 race results is number 1 is Verstappen, followed by Perez, number 2, which is always fun when they finish 1-2 because Verstappen's number 1 and Perez is number 11, which is 2 1s, and he finished in second place. This is a little synchronicity there. It's kind of fun for me. Alonso finished third, which is like a big surprise. Yay, Alonso for number 3 because he's been in the podium forever. And he's the
Aston Martin on the podium.
Right. One Spaniard followed by another. Sainz finishes in 4th. Hamilton after that, 5th. Stroll in the 6th place. not the highest finishing Aston Martin, but sorry, Red Bull, but we'll take it. Then followed by him is Russell, then Bottas, then Gasly, then Albon to top out your top 10. Gasly finishing better than his teammate Ocon, who got a DNF.
Yeah. Ocon was waving that white part as the French flag real hard.
That was a good
All right,
one.
let's go to rumor corner. So, Tyler, you had a rumor, didn't you?
So we've been making a couple of jokes about there being 3 Red Bulls on the podium, and that doesn't come from nowhere. There was an engineer or 2, could be more staff members that are just not really thinking of, that left Red Bull in the wintertime and went over to Aston Martin. So obviously you're going to go over there with some knowledge and some ideas. And so I think that sort of like helped their development. Aston Martin dumped a lot of money into their development. And you're like, well, what about the cost cap? Well, if I was reading this news story, and it sounds like they may have figured out a workaround, which is they offered people on their F1 team jobs to shell companies within Aston Martin, like the big Aston Martin company that aren't part of Aston Martin F1, that are still paid exactly the same they would have. And then they get bonuses if they stay on. So they're not officially part of the Aston Martin F1 team, but they wear Aston Martin F1 teams and their paychecks come from a different company, but they still do development that works for an F1 car. So I think they figured out a way to circumvent the
yeah, they can pay people
cap
and not have to worry about it inflicting on their little cost cap.
Yeah. That'd be like there was somebody else they were talking about, like, if like a team principal like takes less money, or he doesn't get paid by the F1 team. Like hypothetically, if Toto Wolff didn't get paid by Mercedes F1, but he still got paid by Mercedes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So,
well, that's clever, but shady.
It's clever, it's shady, but it's not
illegal.
Really breaking the rules, because how would you police that too? Especially if you're a car manufacturer like Aston Martin and you're like, no, we're paying these people to develop a road car that uses the same aerodynamics as an F1 car.
Yeah.
It's legit.
Well, I mean, all of them, I'm sure, fucking circumnavigating rules, just bobbing and weaving, just because they can.
Yeah,
got their own facilities to do their stuff, and every team does it, but not so blatantly as Aston Martin, Force India.
Yeah,
well, it wasn't Force India. I guess it was who was it after
Force India, and then it was Racing Point, Force India, and then it was Racing Point, and then it was
Racing Point and Aston Martin have been strewn in controversy. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
since their beginning.
Nice. So yeah, that's what I got for Rumor Corner. It was interesting, fun little read, and then I did notice and go back, and it got pointed out to me too that in the cool down room, Sergio Perez was like, "Oh, sweet, 3 Red Bulls on the podium."
It wasn't the cool down room. It was
during the interviews. After. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. After the race.
So,
which was funny.
It was funny to see Alonso's face too. He's just kind of like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I'm sure like Ferrari is just like, get us somebody from Red Bull, like right fucking now. Like, I don't fucking care how you do it. Kidnap them and fucking.
No, Ferrari's got it. They just don't only have it.
Old Freddie boy hasn't worked out all the kinks yet, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll get her going.
They send ransom notes, but instead of like magazine cutouts, it's with like noodles and shit.
Yeah, maybe this year they're gonna start us off on the low and then hit us off at the high at the end, or towards the middle. Yeah. Something pick us up.
You're saying that they they might win. They might like win wind tunnel testing time or something. They might.
I just I don't think so. Last year they were pretty dominant throughout the season. I mean, I know Carlos Sainz had a lot of problems and DNF'd 6 races, but
After it's once he fucking put pen to paper on that contract, it was like his season just went downhill.
and it's easy to see that as like a big thing. But then you also have to remember that Ferrari got second in the Constructors' Championship with
On Charles Leclerc's back.
on Charles Leclerc. So they built a very competitive car.
For what
they absolutely did
well.
It's just Sainz had a number of those were not his fault.
He caught fire,
was
which is a
victim of circumstance.
But it made for some really funny jokes all season long of like,
Yeah.
oh, there was a DNF. Oh, which fucking Ferrari was it this time?
He just wants to be like his dad, world championship rally driver.
Yeah, exactly.
Just incredible. Zing.
With that being said, it is really weird seeing the Mercedes go so far down the pit lane before pulling over.
I know, right?
Sucks on having that first
like,
spot.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as an unsafe release when you've won last year. So
right.
Well, should we talk about the news a little bit?
Yeah, let's hit some news.
So nothing too crazy in the news. A lot of reactions from drivers about the first race. Zhao Guanyu is really happy with the car. De Vries is really satisfied with the car.
Well, they should be. They both had pretty good races. They were competitive, and
Magnussen is pleasantly surprised with how Haas has been performing under him and all that. Someone else that's really pleased with the car they're going to be racing soon is Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh yeah. I heard about that.
this is
and where's he racing at?
He's going to be racing
NASCAR.
Yes,
yeah.
He's going to have Kimi Räikkönen is going to be having his
see a headline about that.
Yeah, he's going to be driving a Chevy Camaro ZL1 at the Circuit of the Americas in March 26th. Huh? Yep.
Yeah.
NASCAR drives a Coda.
Yeah, and they drive the full Coda track too.
The full Coda track. It's what are they? I think there's 4 street courses on there. You got your super speedways, you got your speedways, you got your street circuits,
and they even do fucking.
Is it like a perimeter track that just ovals around the whole thing?
What?
The Coda NASCAR track.
No, they race on the Coda F1 layout.
F1 layout.
No shit.
Yeah, they
How
do
do they
same thing
take
at
the
Watkins
turns?
Glen.
They have to like slow down to like.
Well, it's funny because like
the
left turns they take pretty champion. I don't think anything turns left as good as a NASCAR. The right hand turns are a little slower. We're talking the difference between like Tyler might get this reference, a blindside backup versus like a front side backup.
I'm gonna have to look up some NASCAR
driver side and
driver side,
what that's
blindside,
like.
whatever. Go fuck yourself.
The other thing they do, I noticed in NASCAR, is they do dirt track races. So they'll go to like a short track where it's like real short and not that big, and they'll put dirt in there, and so they race on dirt.
That's fun. That's fun. That's fun. I like that.
Because
with a NASCAR, though, I mean that's like a waste of power.
No, well, it's
Dave,
kind of.
This is automotive racing. Everything's a waste of power. What are these cars doing?
A NASCAR car's performance is not meant for dirt. It's not
a finely tuned F1 machine
on dirt.
But it's still going to be
perform on pavement.
It's an interesting added element, and what I like about it, and this is our little NASCAR corner, is the feeder league for NASCAR is like dirt track racing. So it's kind of like them paying. It'd be like having all the F1 drivers race go-karts for one race.
Right. Which would be fun.
It'd be fucking awesome. It would be like they have to race go-karts around Coda. Like full-size Coda.
No. That's not what they're doing. They are racing if they are going to do a go-kart race, it's not going to be cool. They're going to go to a Chuck E. Cheese and race the fucking go-karts at Chuck E. Cheese.
Or that
It's got
that
like
place
3 turns to the left and 4 turns to the right.
or that place that we went to at Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, Lake of
where
the
it's
Ozarks that slows you down for the corkscrew.
Yeah, it's just this kind of hokey, and they're pumping in track noises while you're racing.
Right.
And they're like, oh, we got a yellow flag coming up, and it's the
Mhm.
part of the track that it slows you down, and then it
Yeah,
intentionally
I've been to
speeds
that
you
place.
up.
Right.
Yeah, it sucked. It was fucking awful.
It was awful. It was one of the worst. But it was between that and the other place had an outdoors, a figure 8 track kind of.
Which
but-
arguably would have been more fun.
Sure, you are
If they would have
100% right.
crossed.
100% right. But the research for go-kart tracks was thrown into my lap, and all the pictures and all the things I saw from the outdoor track had children in the cars, and they were filling them out. And so I didn't want to like go to the go-kart track and find out it's a youth-only go-kart go.
They need a
And-
K1 speed out there or something like that.
They do, yeah. We need a K1 speed. But getting back to other silly racing, NASCAR. Yeah, Kimi Räikkönen's gonna be in there. Coda doing left and right hand turns. I think it's gonna be fucking dope. I'm gonna try and watch it.
I'll try to watch it.
I want to try to watch it. I wanted to see
It's
the
on
Watkins Glen one, but I
26th. That is a couple Sundays from now.
Why didn't F1 go to Watkins Glen?
Well, because Watkins Glen doesn't have the G1
Why, though?
certification.
I mean, yeah, but
It-
they could get it if fucking Miami and Las Vegas can just pop up and get it. Why
Right.
can't Watkins Glen, an established racetrack, get it?
So I think one of the things that keeps racetracks from getting the G1 thing is you have to be a certain distance away from a hospital. And you can't just say, oh,
Jesus
let's-
Christ, seriously?
you do. Yeah, that's seriously one of the things. Because if someone gets injured, they need to be able to get there. And you go,
Where
oh,
the fuck is Watkins Glen? They're like miles away from like the nearest hospital.
they're
Like
not close
airlifted
enough.
even.
The thing about
Yeah, it's
airlifted
in-
is if the weather's inclement, they can't fly.
yeah. So if
You have to
it's like, if,
assume that you are taking the road to the hospital, not flying.
yeah, if it's too like Coda, for example, because I noticed that you were there. If they can't fly a helicopter, they won't race.
Damn North America for being so spacious.
Right.
No,
God damn this
damn
land
it.
for fruited plains and fucking Purple Mountains Majesty. The fucking
Amber waves
greatest-
of grain and
Yeah.
land of my pilgrim's pride.
hmm
Chilling.
That sounds like a really good
Chicken.
beer name for like a Coors Light or something.
Yeah, it's in
nothing
the-
makes
in the-
me relax better than a ice cold Pilgrim's Pride.
Dude,
We're
that's
coming up
fucking
on the-
chicken.
Is that chicken?
Chicken. Pilgrim's Pride makes chicken.
Pilgrim's
fucking-
Pride makes chicken. Not. I think anything Pilgrim's Pride is
What the
probably
fuck are you guys talking about?
not.
Pilgrim's Pride makes fresh chicken. We used to get it
Oh.
in the meat departments I used to work at. Anywho,
Nah.
go ahead.
I mean, kind of like a dark.
They should. That should
Where
be
you get it
something
from?
not.
The New Americans.
Yeah, it's like we're coming up on like the 250th anniversary of the founding of our country or something. So that should be like Budweiser's like Pilgrim's Pride. Fuck yeah, which has nothing to do with like 1776, but it's still
It's
kind of like a
like-
fun hokey can.
It's like every time they get a chicken. Every time they get a chicken, like this truck shows up to the reservation, and it's just some white people ripping the chickens out of the hands of the Native Americans. Throwing it on the truck and like, this is Pilgrim's Pride.
Yeah, doing a
Drive
burn.
away.
Doing a burnout like into the fucking dirt, and then a couple beer cans come flying out the back.
They're only speeding up to use the Jake brake. It's like a straight line. It's not an incline or anything. It's just. God, why people are so terrible with Native Americans.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there with my loud ass blow off valve. It sounds whenever I downshift.
Listen to that caterpillar purr.
Christ.
Oh, fuck
pressure,
me.
pressure, pressure, pressure.
All
This came from
else?
NASCAR.
What else?
Yeah.
Yeah. No
What else
shit.
is in the news?
No, that's pretty much it. Everyone's
That's pretty
happy
much
with the
it.
race. There's some people that aren't happy with the race. I mean,
Yeah, I'd say Charles Leclerc has some words about it. In person
He's
McLaren as
pretty-
well.
Oh, I mean, he just
was-
got some. He's got some things to talk about with his team.
Yeah.
So he
He's
gave
drinking
a
that
very
pasta. He's drinking the pasta water.
he gave a very salted pasta water response, and yeah, it happened, and we're just gonna get better and do better.
It's the first race this season. You can't judge the rest of the season on it, but
no.
you can gauge what things might come for the next couple races. So I don't know. It's tough to tell. It's tough to tell.
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk about the next race because this is not a race week that we're
It
recording.
is not.
This is
I
like
thought
the
it
worst.
was, but it ain't.
They
It's upsetting.
should do like the
Race every
opening
fucking weekend for every day.
It should be fucking back-to-back weekends when the season starts. This sucks. When you're like, yes, fuck.
They
Back
should
to
do a
back,
race
to back.
every weekend forever.
But the fact that I'm also like busy with stuff also makes me kind of happy that they took a week off.
Right.
like
right.
I can
Because
get
you're busy with
stuff.
stuff.
I'm busy with stuff.
So here's something that's like
I have a gray hair now because of it.
here's
Yeah, I
something
bet.
that's really bugged me about the race and like some of the footage and all that stuff. And it's
Charles
with Toto
Leclerc.
Wolff.
Like pulling over and
No. So it's with Toto Wolff. Because last season we
Toto
just made fun of how much Nick DeVries dressed like Toto Wolff and all that. And he was constantly like right next to
plane.
Toto. Yeah.
Yeah.
The plane, boss, the plane. He was constantly next to Toto Wolff. And then here we are, race one, with a new backup driver, Mick Schumacher, who is now right next to
Glued
Toto
to
Wolff.
him.
yeah.
So in any other circumstance, let's strip away that, whatever. You have an older man that just likes having younger boys around him in the back of the garage. So
I
it's
just
getting
like
a little.
I
Come on,
like
Toto.
to think that like Mick is sitting there like he's like, so is this when the cars go out on the track and it's like the Big Lebowski and Toto just goes like, shut the fuck up, Michael. Shut the fuck up,
Yeah,
Michael.
Bono's like,
You're out of your element,
Schumacher."
Michael.
Yeah, you're out of you're out of your element. You're like a child coming into a movie part of the way through it.
Wanting to know everything that happened.
Yeah. Michael, shut the fuck up. It's like they
damn it.
wreck. And then like, everyone's talking about the wreck, and then Michael comes up. Hey, did somebody wreck out? Shut the fuck up, Michael.
Shut the fuck up.
Is his name Michael or Mick?
It is Mick.
It's Mick. Yeah.
It's Mick. Thank you, Nick.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, shut the fuck up, Mick.
no. They do say Michael though. They can't
Yeah.
help themselves.
Michael, no, this is not right.
This is not right. But when he says
No,
it to
Mikey,
Schumacher,
no.
he's whispering into his ear.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Gross.
Oh God.
I mean, he could be a little rapey. I don't know.
Who, Toto?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think he'd. If he was, I don't think he'd be broadcasting on like fucking worldwide television like that.
Nah.
No, I'm just saying, like, he's always got young talent next to him all the time. It's just kind of weird.
Anywho.
Anyway,
Oh, we're just gonna gloss over it. We've reached the end.
before
Yeah,
we get
we're
into
not
weird
going to
corner,
explore this
Well,
little
this
branch
is
of
an
jokes.
in-depth fucking investigation
Look,
on the Catholic Church, for Christ's sake. It's F1.
Yeah, look, here's the out of all the people that we make fun of, like no lawyer is going to take a case for Lance Stroll and of defamation, being like, oh, a podcast made fun of you. Yeah, okay, whatever. Toto, maybe. Toto's a maybe.
No, Toto's
Oh,
way
man,
too
if
weird
we
to
get
know what
hate mail
happened,
from
what
Toto?
Christian Horner saying,
Yeah. Just fix your fucking car.
I'm just saying that, like, we shouldn't be afraid to make fun of any.
Checo didn't like the car. Let's ask him. I got it printed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well,
You
Checo
whiner.
doesn't like anything because he's number 2. I want to see those two fight like a celebrity boxing match.
I think fucking Wolf would destroy him.
Oh
Horner.
God! If only
Horner.
Celebrity Deathmatch was still a thing, and it was like a claymation fight between the two of them.
So I
They'd
think
have to
that,
find a
like,
new referee. Mills Lane died.
I think that Wolf would beat the shit out of Christian Horner, but
Oh,
not
you
Toto
know.
Wolff.
No.
his wife.
Oh, Susie
Susie?
Wolf.
Susie
Yeah.
Wolf would
Yeah,
punch
what if
him
it
in
was
the-
like
she would punch him right in the throat while Christian Horner's going
what
she
yeah, what if
fucking,
the
like hit him right in the eyeball.
Yeah, but
what if the
Horner's
main
got
event
Spice
of the
Girls on his
evening
side, so
I was gonna say, what
The
if the main
Spice
event of the
Girls.
evening is like Total Wolf and fucking Christian Horner fighting, and then like the co-main event is like total Susie Wolf fights a Spice Girl.
that's the undercard.
Yeah,
It would be more fun if like
Yeah,
they
no,
do
I think
something like
It's like
Toto and Horner would be
Susie's
the
choking
undercard.
around.
Susie
She's just
and-
like whispering. He's like, "If you want to be my victim."
why does it have to be it should be something else, like not a fight, like they're gonna bake off, or like like who
Because
make
that's
the bigger
sexist.
pizza. I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
who can fold laundry better? Who can clean the kitchen faster?
no, I'm talking about between Horner and Christian Horner and Total Wolf. You're the one that went fucking sexist.
Oh man.
Thanks for having my back. No, I was talking about Christian Horner and Total Wolf. Like,
Yeah,
who
they
can,
both
like,
have to barbecue. They both have to barbecue cheeseburgers.
Yeah,
So you can do
you have
better
to
at
make
it.
yourself a sandwich and then find the thing that closes the bread bag. You can't just twist it and stick it under with gravity or whatever. like, like they got to sit there and like jerk each other off, and the last person that comes loses or whatever the fuck that game is.
Man, you went really
What?
weird.
Yeah, that went.
Jesus
We took a
fucking
hard
Christ.
turn after that one.
Let's move on.
How many fucking podcasts have we recorded
I think
together?
a lot.
Yeah,
How
but
many?
out
A
of,
lot.
out of,
Like
out of all
44.
of them,
We have talked about weirder fucking shit, and you guys jump on it and ride the train with me.
but that's the
and-
first time that there's been any like Christian Wolf, Christian Horner, and Total Wolf erotica.
Yeah, thank you,
Whatever,
Tyler.
dude.
Thank you.
Fucking cut it out, then. Jesus Christ.
I'm not cutting it out.
No,
It's just,
you better cut it out. We're
No.
not. I'm not sitting here listening to a podcast of myself, like chewing up two joke conversations and have them both be shut down. Not happening.
all right.
Ugh.
Bleep. All right, start over. Go.
From where? This is the Tire Preference Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Good fucking bye.
Stay within fucking track limits. Goodbye.
Hit the
Yeah.
fucking gas later.
Stay with it. Go fuck yourself. Goodbye.
Yeah. This is the Tire Preference Podcast. Fuck you.
Yeah. I hate everything. I don't even know why I'm here right now. Go fuck yourself.
Because Mallory won't listen to you talk about F1.
I have to talk to the computer.
Oh shit. It's fun though.
All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for us this week on the Tire Preference Podcast over here. We hit you with that race review, got some news and some light rumor corner. It is not a race week for us, so we are not going to give you our predictions for the next race, which is Jeddah. But next week when we record to do our little midweek madness, whatever, we'll give you guys our breakdown of what we think is going to happen in the race.
Can't wait to see those water bottles being popped open on the podium.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna make a little pact with myself, and I'm gonna be more prepared next week, and I'm gonna have some info. I say that now, but
yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna
hard
do my
sometimes.
best to come prepared for next week, because since we got a race coming in, I want to have some good predictions, shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, it's been the Tire Preference Podcast. I've been Jake along with Tyler and Dave. And I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the social media shout out right now. So
Might as well get those out of the way, right?
yeah, I might as well get those out of the way. You can find me at the Red Kennedy 45 on Instagram, or the Red Kennedy on Twitter. You can find the podcast at the Tire Preference Pod or at Preference Pod on Twitter.
We need to get an Instagram. I think that's where most people go these days.
We've been talking about getting an Instagram since we started this podcast.
It's a lot of work though, man. Goddamn. We need
Yeah.
a fucking social media person.
Yeah, I really do.
No shit.
You can find us on YouTube at the Tire Preference Pod, and you can find Tyler at
T.K.66 on Instagram. That's it. That's the only really social media I pay any sort of attention to, other than Reddit, and I don't have a Reddit page for myself. So yeah, that's where you'll find me. It's just on Instagram.
That was a seamless transition between these two, and I was impressed.
Oh, wow. We can try it again here, Dave. Where can we find you at?
You can find me at the Instagram, well, on the Instagrams at maximum_Dave, and you can find me and my wife doing our little travels around the country, working at campgrounds, doing cool shit like that at featuring next Friday on the Instagrams.
Yay.
Right on.
They do some cool shit.
We do some fun stuff here and there. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and say at this point, we're going to keep within track limits here.
I'm going to say, fuck them track limits, hit the gas, see what happens.
Well, yeah, hit the gas if you want to win, but also hit them braking points if you want to live.
Yeah, we know what happens when you don't. So.
Well, we also see what happens if you hit them too hard.
All right, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for listening.
Later, taters.
Love ya.